thing we added to the agenda was to establish the protocol for the committee. And what I'm hearing is you want the foresights, you want the postcards as they stand. Yes. Yeah, the postmark. For the postmark date. Yeah. And then I heard
want to be able to take them away and do something at a different site, didn't you?
And I have a comment about that. I understand that it's going to be a big project. One of my I have some concerns about working outside of the town office. And one of the reasons I do is that we received this mailing not long ago, which mentioned a request for having poll watchers to watch the people who are doing the recording from the cards. And I wouldn't want that to be a situation that comes into someone's home. I think if there are going to be people recording and those 4 people are working very diligently, and then there are going to be more people coming in to be poll watchers, that's not a situation I would invite into someone's home during the work time. This is going on. I think it should be done in the town office in a public place.
Is there some way that we can have a presence so that the committee members can have longer hours to work at the weekend? I'm off the cuff here and don't know what's appropriate and what's not. If that requires calling in reserve officers, someone who can be there in a non-normal working hour times. As Mr. Hollins has said, this is a task. I hope we have simplified it somewhat by restricting the comments to the 4 sites and to the physical cards. Could I ask for the town administrator's thoughts on that?
One of the things we talked about earlier today at our meeting was the possibility of going ahead and we will not let the originals out of the office. I'm sorry, that's just not something we can do. So I've agreed to go ahead and make copies. We'll do it electronically as well as hard copies. If those folks wanted to take those out and do work at their home, I don't have a problem with that, as long as they understand that if somebody requests to go into their home and watch them, I don't know if being an ad hoc committee, they may have to go ahead and allow that. If they choose to work, we have no reserve officers at this time. We are down to a bare staff.
If this is not a referendum and these are not ballots, why can't we let them out of town hall?
They're originals and they're public records, and so they're just like minutes. They're just like every other document that we have that's original. Misty and I are the ones that get in trouble if they leave. So
we've gotten in a lot of trouble lately.
Right. But what I'm saying is that we will be glad to make you copies. They can stand down there and watch us make those copies if they want, but we will not let the originals out of the town hall. We'll keep those there.
The only issues that I see here, I have no problems with copies being given, and that certainly makes sense. I also understand the integrity of the system requires that the originals be kept. I think we certainly all agree on that. With what Commissioner Campbell has said about the poll watchers that have been suggested by is this the pumpkin colored sheet? This is the pumpkin colored sheet that we have here. I don't know if it has a date on it or not. It says news alert. Could you just read the section there so that we can have that for the record and that we can identify it?
This is my concern. It says, will the council allow poll watchers to ensure the legitimacy and accounting of all comments recorded on the ballots? And it's not a ballot, we understand that, but I just wanted to, first of all, I want to protect the integrity of the 4 individuals who have been selected for this committee. I trust them completely, but I think this could reflect a lack of trust in them and in the work that they'll be doing, and I wouldn't prefer that a group like that come into someone's home when they're doing the work.
I want to make it clear that this pumpkin colored sheet was not prepared by the town council. It's prepared by the...
What does it say?
Yeah.
Could you read who it's prepared by? We can read it.
She's got one.
It was prepared by the Montreaters for a new town hall and a better location. So it was not the commissioners that brought up the idea of poll watchers.
Does that have a name attached to it, or is it just to the organization itself? There's no name attached to that? Okay.
Okay, so far I've heard the comments will be restricted to the 4 sites that are on this card.
And also whether they attended the
Right.
meeting or reviewed the information.
But it's everything that's on that card.
Only those things that are on that card.
That was the whole purpose of the exercise.
So
And physical cards.
the copies can be made, but the originals will remain in the town services office.
I don't have a solution to the poll watchers thing.
I think I am, if, since this was not prepared by the town and it was a request from on the pumpkin colored sheet here, that if, out of the graciousness of those who have agreed to do this, the 4 members of the ad hoc committee, it is a daunting task. And since our town administrator, Ron Nally, has felt that this is a reasonable compromise to give them electronic copies, is that what's been decided, or Xerox copies and electronic copies, and if they are willing to share with the town when and where they're meeting, perhaps, that's sort of the compromise. Could I inquire that, so if someone wishes to go and be a poll watcher, whatever that means, that they would be available to do that, as a thought.
What is the thought of the ad hoc committee on poll watchers?
We have no thought on that.
Okay, good.
I think that's an extreme possibility, but I think it's way out there. Let me make a couple comments.
And I also want to hear from Linda when you're finished, Bill.
Okay, I would like to make a couple comments here.
Number one, the ad hoc committee will need from this body written instructions approved by you to our committee. Please do. I don't want to rely on just what I heard. I want written specific instructions. We definitely need the flexibility to choose our own work sites. Not all of us have laptops. Some of us have desktops. We are going to parcel out the work amongst us so that we can do the data entry. Fortunately enough, we have Emery, who is an expert at how to manage data, and he will be probably our point person, but the rest of us are going to be entering data, and he'll be consolidating it. Don't ask me exactly what categories, because that has yet to be determined. Any questions?
I'm Linda Stroop. I'm the other member of the ad hoc committee. I think the first thing that needs to be cleared up from whatever color sheet you just read from, a poll to me implies vote. This is not a vote. It's my understanding it's a chance for people to give input on 4 sites that were selected for them to choose from. So I guess I don't see this as a vote. I see it as a way for people to give input, and our task is to try and make some sense of what people wrote in a way that you won't have to go through 200 cards and try and figure out what everybody said. That's our job, is to compartmentalize it, to organize it, and present it to you in a way that you can reasonably make some sense of it. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
The other point I would really like to make, I'm not sure when this was written, but I guess I am totally, absolutely mortified that my integrity as a committee member would be questioned as to whether I'm going to do this job properly. And I really do resent, now maybe this was written before they knew who the committee was, but I especially resent it if it was written after they knew who the committee was, that my integrity is being questioned.
We don't. Could I, just real quick while you're getting your mic. I agree with Linda, this is definitely not a vote, and I think because of that, and because of the committee's integrity being questioned, ours has been questioned now for a couple months, our armor is up. I see no reason that we need to have the quote-unquote poll watchers. I think that is totally unnecessary and is basically a slap in the face of these 4 people.
Okay, I'm hearing you say you only want the comments that are on those that's on the card, and you want it restricted to the 4 sites. What if someone chooses to comment on other sites?
It's to be restricted to those 4 sites that are considered.
I disagree. You need to let the committee put down what is on the cards. Let them put down what's on the cards. We ask for it, we put it out there, let it be counted.
I'm sorry, this is our business meeting, so I would ask that you hold your applause, please. Thank you.
But, Commissioner Helms, we agreed early on, 4 sites inside the town limit. That's it. That's all we agreed to. So we shouldn't have anything else on those cards.
And I do believe that was a unanimous vote.
I mean, you agreed as well.
No, I don't think I did. I think it was a silent vote that I didn't vote.
That's a yes.
I know it is. But if you don't count the comments on the cards as people are saying, then...
I didn't say that. I said any other place except those 4 sites. That's all it is. Inside the town limit. That's what we've said all along.
Well, I prefer inside the gate, but I'm willing to look at outside the gate. But you're not going to let anybody put outside the gate on there as a consideration, even if it costs a heck of a lot less money.
That's correct. It's not.
Well, you guys might as well go ahead and vote right now, 4-1, to put it up on Florida, and let's just forget it.
Please, I've asked you to respect that this is a business meeting of the town. Okay.